Hey guys, it's Chris the Batman statue collector. No, I guess I can't be that tonight. Tonight I'm the Nature Boy. Woo! Chris BSC. I'm sorry, I hear a lot of echo. I'm not sure if you guys hear that or not. Yeah, there it's gone. Well, maybe a little bit. I still hear it a little bit. Anyway, welcome to the show. We've got the wrestling guy, JWR, with us tonight. How's it going, sir?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Doing great. I love the, I mentioned it to you earlier, I love the CM Punk banner in the background. Looks great.
Best in the world.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We also have Lawrence, the Hitman O, in the house. How's it going, Lawrence?
Hey guys, what's up? Doing great.
Glad to have you back both on the show. Of course, this is our very first, oops, I just dropped something. Our very first show on the Wrestling Rogues channel. We did one of these on the Batman Statue Collector channel. And so I thought we might as well separate it out a little bit and do our own thing. I have no idea if anybody's going to be watching this or not, but at least we get a chance to talk about it. And we're talking about WrestleMania XL, baby. I can't believe it is WrestleMania 40. I have always been a wrestling fan since, WrestleMania 2 or 3-ish, somewhere in there. Growing up, I always hated it. My dad watched it, and I couldn't stand whenever he had it on. Just a bunch of, hairy dudes yelling at each other. I didn't get it. And then a kid brought a WrestleMania 3 program to my school, and ever since then, I've been hooked. I've been to 4 WrestleManias, and it's just been part of me for so long. I was listening to a podcast recently with Kevin Nash, and they were talking about how 30 years ago was WrestleMania 10 in that ladder match with Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon. And I was like, oh my God, it is 30 years ago. Like, that is insane to me because I still remember watching that pay-per-view, and it's just absolutely incredible. But anyway, welcome to the show, gentlemen. Tonight we're going to be predicting matches. We got nights 1 and 2. It's this coming weekend. We're doing this a little bit early because I'm going to be traveling. I'm actually going to miss Mania. I'm not going to be able to watch it live, which stinks because I will be in Florida. But at the same time, I'll just have to try to avoid spoilers, which I know will be impossible. But
yeah,
good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're going to go match by match. But what are you guys most excited about for this 2-night extravaganza?
I'm looking forward to the Cody payoff. Like, it's been a 2-year journey since he came back to WWE from AEW, and I really want to see it pay off. I mean, he went through the torn pec in the Hell in a Cell with Seth. I mean, he's cut his teeth in WWE since he's come back, and I think it's his time.
All right. What about you, Lawrence?
Yeah, I echo that sentiment. I think that I want to see Cody's story pay off. I think that they've, really pivoted in the right direction, moving away from what their original plan might have been with The Rock and Roman, and sort of retconned that into a meaningful storyline. So I'm exactly with JWR there. And I really am very much excited for the Drew McIntyre Seth Rollins match. I may be even more excited about that one. I kind of want to see Drew get his payoff to get a world title in front of a crowd.
That would be
so
awesome.
I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I mean, I'm not going to be, heartbroken either way on that particular one because I think I like both guys, but I would, I'd be ecstatic with whatever the outcome is on that. But I'm looking forward to that match. I think that one's going to be a great match.
I hope we get the payoff too, because again, it was just that COVID mania. God bless it. It was entertaining, but like, I bet no one ever watches that again.
Right. I watched the Edge Randy Orton match because it was so long and there's just so many little Easter eggs that they did during that match. I would watch that one again, not the entire program, but I'd watch that match again.
It was good. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Dwayne The Rock Johnson's here watching. This is pretty exciting. This is big, like our very first show, and the Rock is already watching. That's pretty great.
There you go.
Billy Rios, a friend of mine. Hey, Billy, I just sent you a link if you want to join us. I don't know if you're set up or not, but I know Billy's also a fan. So the more the merrier. Talk a little bit of wrestling. I'm excited to see The Rock again. Just to see him in action. I hope he's not rusty. I worry a little bit about that. Like, I'm hoping he's been taking bumps. I noticed as they were doing Raw last night, he had one of those cup under his armpit. I don't know if you guys caught that or not, but hopefully he's not hurt and hopefully he's fine and doing his thing. But it'll be exciting to see him wrestle again. I was at WrestleMania 17, so I got to see him fight Steve Austin, and I was at WrestleMania 19 and got to see him wrestle Steve Austin again in Austin's former retirement match. But man, it's just he is so electrifying no matter what he does, and so I'm excited to see what they do with him. But anyway, you guys want to get to the matches?
Let's do it.
What did Lawrence? Did you watch Raw last night? Just the ending of how they're like feeling the story and everything.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, they just took those guys to task last night. I mean, you had the Bloodline sort of ending the show with kind of standing atop. Um, they were beating up Cody and beating up Seth with those big weight belts.
Yep.
So
Whipping him
it really,
hard too.
yeah. I mean, it's you would think that all the momentum's on the Bloodline side of the world for sure.
And we still have a SmackDown to go before WrestleMania. So I'm like, how are they going to top the ending of Raw on SmackDown? So it'll be
Raw the
interesting to
last
see.
2 weeks has been dynamite, man. It's been awesome. No pun intended there, because AEW Dynamite, that's not very good. But you get my point.
Yeah. Well, and they've been a little edgier, which is nice. The Rock, final boss Rock is, throwing down the F-bomb and, everything else. Definitely kind of, I think, peeking into that Netflix generation of, what to expect when they hit, non-network television, basically. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I think Raw was really great last night. And I love how they've tied everything into like so many different storylines. Like, there's 15 different storylines, but they all kind of blur together somehow. Like, it's kind of neat the way they've done it all this year, with all of the storylines. But anyway, so I've broken this down into night 1 and night 2.
Okay.
And I don't know if this will be the exact match order. This is just what I saw posted. And so we'll just kind of go match by match. But here's the first one. We've got brother versus brother for the very third time in history of WrestleMania in 40 years. But we've got Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso. Not much is on the line other than maybe pride. But it should be an interesting match. I don't think this one will probably be very long. I don't know what you guys think. But what do you guys think of this matchup, and who do you see taking the win?
Lawrence, you want to go ahead?
Yep, sure. So I really like matches like this when there's not a title on the line. I mean, as you mentioned, this is the third time. You had Bret Owen, you had Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy. And I think when, it's family and it's brothers of all things going against each other, not having something on the line, I think even makes it more meaningful, because you get that opportunity to see, what are these guys fighting for? And oftentimes brothers are fighting over stupid things, and sometimes it's nothing. And in this case, right, it's nothing other than maybe, like you said, pride. And so I actually am looking forward to this match. I don't think it'll be a long match either, somewhere between that 12 and 17-minute mark at the most. And that's probably with entrances. I think that these guys can put on a pretty decent match. And I look for kind of the bloodline to prevail here with some shenanigans. And I think Jimmy goes over top of Jay.
All right, that's a good prediction there. What do you think, JWR?
I really want Jay to win. Jimmy needs it, but Jay, with this whole main event Yeet stuff, they both really need a win, like a big win on WrestleMania. So I'm gonna go ahead and just say Jay, just because I feel like he has more momentum going into this match. Because really, Jimmy's just in the background of the bloodline, not really doing too much right now.
I think, gosh, I could go either way on this one. I think I'm going to probably go with Jay also, just because I think it's going to go a different way at the end of the night, for the bloodline. And so I think that there's a good chance, and hopefully that'll give him, more momentum again to go into, because I feel like he's kind of, yes, he's been involved, but I just don't feel like he's to the status they want him to be. Like, they call him main event, but is he main event Jey Uso? You know what I mean? Like, he's not. He's still a mid-carder guy. And I feel like if they could get him enough big profile wins, then maybe he'll get to that point. I don't know. Like, I just don't know. Do you guys think he'll ever get to that? I just don't.
He'll be a good IC champion once he kind of gets back into like this new character. Is kind of like main event, still kind of bloodline Jey Uso. So I like to see more character development from him.
Yeah. What do you think, Lawrence? You feel the same?
Yeah, I do. I think that, at best, I think he could maybe get to the world heavyweight title at some point, but I agree with JWR. He's got a long way to go before he gets to that point. in my opinion. I think he's good Intercontinental Champion, or maybe even another tag team run with somebody on the roster that makes sense, or doing something that might elevate him. I mean, if they have another tournament similar to King of the Ring, something there that he could win, if they had something like that for him to do that could elevate him in that regard, I could see him doing something like that before jumping on to the actual main event. And in that regard, I could see him doing something like that before jumping on to the actual main
Hey,
event.
Billy.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, Billy?
Not much. We have an echo on your end, so it's hearing what Lawrence just said. I'm not sure.
All right, let me see if I can fix that.
Not much. We have an echo on your end, so it's hearing what Lawrence just said. I'm not sure.
All right, let me see if I can fix that.
An echo on your end is hearing what Lawrence just said. I'm not sure. See, I'll give it a second to see if Billy can get that fixed again. Welcome, Billy. So the first match, like we said, we feel like it could go either way, but hopefully Jay gets a little bit of a push. But we'll see what happens. Let me check back in with Billy and just see.
Is that any better?
Let me check.
How's
Yeah.
that?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Fixed.
Sounds good.
Yep, that
Yep.
sounds good. Thanks, Billy.
All
Welcome to the
right.
show.
Thanks for having me, guys. What's going on?
How you
Not
doing, man?
much. Just talking about the show, and we just went through our first match, which was Jimmy and Jay.
Okay.
And who do you got in that match? Some of us picked Jay, some of us picked Jimmy.
Jay's got a lot of momentum. As I've seen him kick off Raw a lot, and he gets the crowd jumping. So I hope they don't get shorted on time.
That was the first thing I said. Is like, I bet it's not going to be a long match.
I hope it probably won't be, but I hope they let them get their due, because both those guys can work, and I think that I would like to see them get enough time out there to tell their story and kind of show what they're all about as single competitors.
As Josh said, I think it's going to be like 15 minutes to 20 minutes with entrances. So we'll see. Hopefully, but again, if you can have a clinic like Brett and Owen, like that was still a fantastic match. Like that was a great match.
I love that match.
30 years ago.
And what's good about it is, like, when you just brought up that match, obviously Brett and Owen were technicians in the ring. Jimmy and Jay are not those kind of technicians, but they can work. They work a different style, a lot of high flying stuff and things like that. Obviously, we've seen them as a tag guys, but I also could see maybe somehow, how these brother things end up. Maybe their dad at the end somehow kind of gets involved a little bit, just to play up the story. I could see that happening. He is going to be in town, from what I heard, at a different at some convention.
All right, WrestleCon, I bet.
So that's the one that usually follows WrestleMania around, right?
It's just that weekend. It's that it's just basically meet and greets usually, and that sort of thing.
So I could definitely see their pops getting involved some kind of how.
That'd be cool. Let's do a little prediction. How many super kicks do you think we're going to see in that match?
Minimum 25.
Yeah, a lot of super
like how many
kicks and,
thigh slaps? It's like
Right.
I feel like that's all they do is super kicks.
that is the frog splash.
There's super kicks and splashes like that.
That's
splashes,
it. That's
yeah.
it. Yep. It's like they're probably both talking like, crap, what are we going to do in the match? That's all we do is super kicks. So
Yeah, I don't expect a clinical classic as far as technical goes, as Billy mentioned.
yeah, for sure. Well,
It'll
great
be entertaining
picks.
though.
Yeah, you never know. Great picks on that first match. Let's go to match 2 for night 1 here. We've got Rey Mysterio. I forget his partner.
Dragon Lee.
Dragon Lee. Okay.
Yep.
So I feel like, and again, this match to me, I don't know about you guys, but it felt very thrown together.
Yes.
Extremely quick, and it's great that they're featuring them. I believe, and I'm just going to go on a prediction here. Maybe you guys will agree, but I feel like this Mania is going to signal the dismantling of the Judgment Day. I think the Judgment Day is going to completely collapse at this Mania, except for maybe one event. We'll see. But I predict that Rey is going to win this match. and start the kind of downward spiral of losses? What do you guys think?
I'm gonna say I'm going with Dirty Dom. I did not like Dom at first, but he has grown on me, and him teaming with Fantaza, it's just that whole mix. So I can see him leaving, and then Andrade also joining that faction, and them being like saying that they're the real LWO.
It could be interesting. Could be interesting. What do you think, Lawrence?
Yeah, I think that this is actually, I agree. I think this is Dom and Santos. I think they win this. I think Dom gets the pin on Ray. And I think that, it's the opportunity for lack of a better term, I don't think that he's done by any stretch of the imagination, but it's kind of the start of that passing of the torch from Ray to Dom in this situation. They had that one-on-one last year. Ray went over. Does it happen this year a little bit different where Dom gets the pin even through like heel means for sure? Some kind of shenanigans are going to happen there, but I think the heels prevail here.
Well, and that's one reason I thought, well, maybe Ray would go over, is because if Ray is done, I mean, he's pretty old at this point for, his body's been through a lot. And so it's passing that one mask wrestler to what they want the next wrestler to be. And they've done that over the years. I mean, we've seen that for other wrestlers where they were hoping that they would be the next Rey Mysterio. And, for whatever reason that didn't work out. But I think that's what they're wanting this character to be. I think that they want him to be eventually built up to be the next Ray, but we'll see. What do you think, Billy?
I agree with you. I do think this is the end of the Judgment Day. Priest still has the briefcase, so
Correct.
he's gonna, he's headed for big things. Rhea's taken off, and I could see her getting turned face pretty soon, and I definitely think it's time that this time around that Ray gives the rub to Dom and puts him over. And do I ever see Dom, as a main event guy? No. But can he be that annoying heel type guy, and still draw money that way? Be one of those guys that we all love to see get kicked around? Yeah, he is entertaining. Right?
Hey guys, I will be right back. There's a bit of a storm situation here, so I'm gonna go check on things real quick.
Hey, no problem, Lawrence.
Yep.
I can see JD like interfering, and that's the way they win. Like Dom gets a pinfall after JD like hits Ray with something. I don't see Dragon Lee taking the pinfall because they're projecting him to like the moon right now, especially in NXT with the North American Championship.
Yeah, I see Dom going over on his pops, tell you, and him getting the rub. I mean, his dad's an all-time legend. I think he's winding down, as you guys said. Who better, usually go down on your back. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I had forgotten that Ray won last year. So
he did,
probably wouldn't make sense to do 2 years in a row. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm guessing you guys are probably going to be right. But again, hopefully it'll be like a high flying matchup. Hopefully it'll be a quick paced. Again, I can't.
It's crazy.
I can't see them giving them much time either on that match either.
I gotta tell you, Dom was always entertaining as far as like you want to see him get his teeth knocked in. But I remember going to WrestleMania. I remember going to SummerSlam in Boston, back in 2005, 2006, when he was a little kid, and they did the whole Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, who's your daddy, Poppy thing. Remember that? And he was a little kid at the time. It's kind of like dating myself here.
Yeah.
And just when you see wrestlers, kids, who knows if they get into the business one day. He did, obviously. And at first it's like, this guy or whatever. They put him with the right people. The Judgment Day, they kind of all got each other over. Finn was already a star, I think, especially with what he did at NXT. And even as a singles guy, Finn was a star. But Priest and Rhea, they're top of the card now pretty much every week. So I definitely see him going over.
They've done a great job because especially that was originally an Edge. They were built around Edge.
Yeah. Yep.
And they quickly pivoted because I can't remember, somebody got hurt, and so they needed a face, and so they made Edge back to a good guy. But yeah, they've done a really great job of elevating each other. Really amazing. I mean, they've really done a great job. I mean, there are times where I feel like they're a little bit
Overpushed. Yep.
overpushed. Like it's
Oh,
just like
yeah.
they're all it's like enough with the Judgment Day. But I get
But how
what they've
great,
done.
how great was it sprinkling in a little R-Truth there?
It was fun.
I mean, come on. Anything is better with a little truth in it, right?
Yeah, and that guy's
Absolutely.
one of the most over guys in the company.
Dude's
Oh
gold.
yeah,
love him.
he was always over. I mean, little inside baseball. Like I think Vince loved him. Like
Mhm.
that was one of his guys that for years it was like, well, what is this guy doing? He's always around. He never really wrestles any real meaningful matches. It's always like a side little vignette thing
Yeah.
or whatever. Always funny. Anything they gave to R-Truth to do, he knocked it out of the park. You know?
My bad.
Yeah.
Man,
Yes.
Little
I mean,
Jimmy
it
was
just-
the best thing ever.
Huh?
Yeah.
Little
Little
Jimmy.
Jimmy, yeah,
Oh
Little
my
Jimmy.
God,
Yep.
little Jimmy. We still don't know what he looks like.
That's right.
But
Hey, Lawrence, everything okay with the weather?
Yeah, there are a lot of tornadoes in the area. Just it's pretty black outside, and sirens are going off. But I think we're okay for right now. I think it's a little south of where I am, and I think right now I'm okay. But if I run out of here real fast, you'll know what's going on.
Yeah, just keep the radar on your screen so you can know
Yep.
exactly where you're at. Yeah,
oh my
that's
God.
right. Did you weigh in on that? I can't remember. Lawrence, did you weigh in on that match right there?
I did. I think it's Dom and Escobar.
Okay, that's right. That's right. I couldn't remember if you did. All right, let's move on to match number 3. This is another match that was kind of thrown together really quickly here. This, of course, is Bianca Belair. We've got, I was going to say Trinity. Went
Naomi.
blank. Naomi, thank you.
Yep.
And Jade Cargill versus this incredible trio. And it's not for the tag team championship, which I was actually originally hoping that they would do. But I think this one, to me, in my opinion, is clear-cut winner. I think Jade is the new shiny thing, and they're going to just build her to the moon. And so I feel like that's going to be an easy win for them. And Damage Control is going to have a really rough weekend, I have a feeling. But what do you guys think?
I agree on that one. I think Jade, this is kind of I think it's a good spot to put her in. I think she's still, learning and growing as a performer. And so I think having her in a 6-person tag team match just makes the most sense. Kind of hide some of the blemishes a little bit, but make her still come out there and look powerful. So I think you're absolutely right. I think this is a clear cut and decisive win against Damage Control.
Crazy thing about Jade is my wife has watched wrestling on and off because I have it on all the time, and she used to watch it during the Monday Night Wars. Like her friends would watch it, so she would hang out with them, and so she knows who most of the wrestlers are and things like that. But I remember when she appeared at the Royal Rumble, I showed my wife, and my wife's only reaction was, "Whoa!" Like, this is a star. She just looks incredible. And so, like you said, I know she's green, but hopefully over time she'll really improve. Because I think they're gonna skyrocket her to the moon. I think.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, you can't take your eyes off of her.
Yeah. What about you, Billy or JWR?
She came out the other day and absolutely destroyed Damage Control, like by herself. So I mean, why would we think it would go any other way? But yeah. I think it's going to be, one of those quick jobbers. We all know how good Bianca is. Naomi's really good too. So, I think this is going to be a quick match.
What do you think, JWR?
I got to go with my girl Jade. I have watched her since she debuted in AEW. Daniel Bryanson trained her in AEW, and when she jumped, I was like, okay, this is going to show what she can really do. And I'm very, very excited. I really want to see her versus Bianca one-on-one.
Are you surprised that they didn't go that route after they teased it at the Rumble?
Yes. I'm very surprised. And I think it's just because she's still so green. Because I think this is like her second, maybe third year as a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
So they're like, Triple H is smart. He's like, I got something here. I just need to mold it just a little bit more and tweak it and fine tune. But I would say by SummerSlam.
I was just gonna
we'll
say
see
2
that match.
words: SummerSlam. You know it's gonna happen
Mhm.
by then. Yep. They'll do a heel turn, and it'll be awesome. I think maybe Bianca will go bad. Maybe we'll see.
See, I would like that. I would like, because she's kind of the female John Cena who he never turned heel. So it would be nice to see her turn heel. Maybe have the Street Profits join and then turn heel on Bobby Lashley with her.
That could
That'd
be
be a
fun.
good action.
Yeah, that could be fun. That's awesome. Well, hopefully, again, I think it'll be a fun match. Again, I don't think it'll be a very long match. I think some of these are just what I kind of call filler matches, and highlight some spotlight moves and things like that. But hopefully it'll be decent. Hopefully. Match number 4. We have for the Intercontinental Championship, Gunther and Sami Zayn. Of course, a lot of people really, wanted Chad Gable
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, Chad Gable. Sorry. They really wanted Chad Gable in that match. The storyline. My prediction on this match, this is what I predict. I predict that Chad will be there somehow to help Sammy, but I'm going to predict that Chad's going to turn on Sammy and cost him the title. I don't think Sammy's going over. I think Gunther's going to continue on, and maybe they'll have that Lesnar match at SummerSlam after all. But we'll see. I feel like Gable could do a heel turn here. What do you guys think?
I agree. I think Gunther's going over. I do like the twist that you added to it with Gable turning heel and maybe joining with Gunther, and that would be a powerhouse right there. Those two together, technically sound, putting on banger after banger on Monday Night Raw, that'd be great.
What about you, Billy and Lawrence?
Well, I mean, this was not the original planned match, right? It was supposed to be Gunther and Brock, right?
Brock, yep.
Right. Gunther's had the IC title, and he's kind of, his reign as IC title, as the champ, has almost been like what the IC title used to be. It used to be you were that second champ, and that was like the springboard to eventually get to the heavyweight champion. I mean, we saw like Macho Man or, the Ultimate Warrior, and then even the Attitude Era guys, Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H, they all had the IC title, and it was like, the main eventers went on last, and maybe, it was a quick 8-minute match with, if it was Hogan, it was like, a 5-minute match with 20 minutes of posing. But the IC title was the workhorse title, Gunther's done that. He's kind of made the IC title that springboard to the next level. So at first, when I saw this match, I was like, you know what? We all know Sammy deserves it. He's been working hard. He's been there for years. Maybe they give it to him, because he's been working so hard and stuff. And then maybe Gunther gets springboarded to that next level, or do we keep him there and hold it so that he's the champ if and when they get him and Brock together again? All that being said, I kind of feel like Sammy does go over, only because I see bigger things for Gunther, bigger than the IC title.
Could be. What do you think, Lawrence?
Yeah, I think it's a good call out. I was gonna say Gunther until this package that they did this last Monday Night Raw with Sammy and kind of that whole storyline that they've got going on with Chad Gable sort of training him, and I can see where you're going with it, Chris, but I kind of agree with Billy. You go all the way back to the early years of that title, like he said, with Macho Man and the Warrior, and then you look at Brett and Shawn. They both had that title before they became the next champ and lost it. I think both of them sort of lost that title in kind of different circumstances. And I see Gunther getting beat, but not beat clean in some capacity. Whether Sammy gets to a point where he's like, he has a breakdown and he's got to cheat to win, kind of a thing. I could see that happening. So that he doesn't let people down, and then like he kind of turns into that sort of shitty bad guy,
Yeah.
and kind of goes with things that way. And so I agree with Billy. I mean, I think from there, Gunther, then he's right into that world title picture. From there,
I only have one thing to say. I got a cup of coffee.
Like, did anybody else catch the Rocky 3 reference from Monday Night Raw?
Well, it's Philadelphia, right? I mean, you knew that they were going to do something with that, right?
Right.
Yeah, for sure. We got Chuck and Dime Forever. It says, that said, you're probably right, and you guys are 100% on Bianca going heel. It's time. And I agree with you, Chris. I could see Gable turning on Sammy. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you guys for commenting. I really appreciate it. Again, I didn't expect a very big audience tonight, but thank you guys for joining us since it's something we're trying out new. But thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. I really appreciate it. And again, thank you, gentlemen, for being here. I appreciate you guys as well. Anything else you guys want to say about that match, or do you want to move on?
Moving on.
All right. Well, this one should be a highlight of the night for me. I always absolutely love these matches, and this is the ladder match. Now, this is going to be probably insane. A lot of high spots would be my guess. We've got just all of these incredible athletes here. Some for the very first time getting some really great spotlight here at Mania. Pete Dunne, I really like him a lot. It's really great to see. Of course, DIY really, they've been, working really hard to get to this point. We mentioned R-Truth earlier. So again, it's just really nice to have, the spotlight on these guys. And, I was talking with JWR earlier, they added a stipulation. Do you want to walk it through, like what they're going to do with this match?
So they are finally going to separate. I was watching Wrestle Talk earlier today. They're going to separate the SmackDown and the Raw tag team. So first team to grab one wins that title. The match continues, and then whoever grabs the last remaining title will be that brand's tag team champion. So we will have two new tag team champions from what Wrestle Talk said. And watch, if this is wrong, I'm going to be like, oh, I'll never believe them guys again. But
I saw it from another source as well. I can't remember. I saw it earlier today. So I'm assuming that is correct. But I guess we'll find out as we get into the weekend. But how fun is that?
Yeah, I saw it. I didn't see it in that level of detail. I had just heard that the match wouldn't end until both sets of titles were pulled down, which would lead you to believe that there would be two different champions.
Right.
But I suppose a singular team could pull down both straps at the same time.
They could. I don't know. I guess we'll see what they do. I'm hoping they do split it up. I think it's time. I mean, it's time to give some other teams that championship gold that have been working really hard. I understand why they combine all the titles, but at the same time, it gives a lot of people less opportunity. But I mean, sometimes we said too, it's like, are there too many titles? What do you guys think?
I think if you do a hard
title,
I think if you have a hard brand split, it makes sense, but you've
Right.
got to have that hard brand split. It doesn't make any sense if everybody's just on every show,
Which is what they do.
right? And so they get a hard brand split for like 2 months, and then somebody gets hurt, and then they have to backfill things and move things around, and I would personally like to see tag team titles on each show, but if they're going to do that, I think number one, you need a hard split, and number two, they need more tag teams. They've got to start to elevate actual other tag teams and make it a competitive what am I looking for here, division again. Because right now it's not. The 6 teams that are in this thing, there's a few others out there, but it's not much more than that, and it's certainly not the tag teams of the 80s and 90s, and I think they need to build it up if they're going to do it that way.
Yep.
Are we all in agreement that Judgment Day is losing their title?
No.
No. Who thinks they're keeping it?
I am thinking Judgment Day is going to at least grab the Raw tag team titles and hold on to that. They're near the breakup point, but there's no, I don't know. I just don't see. I think it's the Money in the Bank briefcase that's really going to tear Finn and Damian up.
Exactly. So it's just like, that's what I was thinking. I would think that they will retain at least one of them, but I think Priest is, how long has he had that briefcase? Isn't
Long
it
damn time? Long time.
Since the summer anyway.
Yeah, he's fixing for a singles push, But I mean, like you guys, who we all started watching wrestling when we were kids, I am such a old school kind of guy. To me, multiple titles, unless we do the hard split, just like was mentioned, it gets confusing. And I was always like, the heavyweight title was on Hulk Hogan. He was the focal point. That was it. If it was, the Hart Foundation, They had the titles, and that was it. The British Bulldogs were chasing them. We knew. And then even into the 90s, tag teams to me should be a team. You should dress the same. You
Right.
should look the same. Jim the Anvil Neidhart and Bret Hart, pink and black attack, right?
Right.
Yep.
Even up to the Dudley Boys with the camouflage, the Hardys, very, they look like a team
It wasn't just two random people put
that they
together.
just drew together. Exactly.
Right. Yep.
And it's just like, it's watered down the tag team. It's just, I can't get into, I've been out of tag team wrestling as far as it being interesting to me. They don't look like teams. It's just like, hey, you know what, you and you guys team up together, and there you go. You're now
Yeah.
a team.
However,
the best
though,
tag
I
team in the
will,
world is in AEW. I mean, FTR is still probably the best tag team in the world.
Yep.
And
But if you remember,
unfortunately, they're not.
tag team
going-
wrestling is its art unto itself outside of being a good worker.
Absolutely.
Like the Rockers, their moves were always in sync with one another. The Hardy Boys, there's a way to wrestle a tag team. It's not just, I tag you in, now you're in there and you're going to get your stuff in. And then, I'm going to tag this guy and he's going to get his stuff in. It's kind of like just a singles match with two guys waiting on the apron.
Yep.
Right.
Right.
But like tag team wrestling should look a certain way. I'm not telling you guys anything you don't know. You guys, But yeah, I just wish we can get back to that a little bit more.
Well, don't you think under Triple H we're seeing that a little bit more? Where he brought back Authors of Pain. Obviously promoting DIY. Like I feel like there are these tag teams that they are trying to push, and I feel like they maybe push the factions a little bit more than the actual tag teams these days. But I do feel like there is a little bit of an effort to just to get that, like you said, to get those teams that do the power moves together. Again, Authors of Pain, they do all those same moves, that are combining moves together on purpose. So I don't know. I think it's better than it was for sure.
Definitely better than it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting there. I agree. I mean, you got Authors of Pain, you got Street Profits, other tag teams that are going to be on this show as well, and 3-man matches, and I think we'll obviously get to those. But you're right. I still think there needs to be more, and I think it needs to be a competitive division. And to the point that's been made several times, you got to have that hard split if you're going to have two different versions of the belts.
Yep. Chuck at Time Forever says, too many men. Haha. I'm happy for DIY though. And Tyler is straight killing it. Hard split for sure, but it's been anything but since the draft. All right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Absolutely. Did everybody chime in? I can't remember if everybody chimed in on that one.
Yep.
Do we pick?
Oh no, I guess we didn't pick. Like who do
No.
you? Well,
No,
you
we didn't
said
pick.
you said you think one will be
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day. So who
Judgment
do you
Day.
think would be the second one if they do that?
I want to give it to Awesome Truth. I think Awesome Truth deserves this, but Tyler and Dunn, that would be my close second pick.
That's my pick too. I think it'll be the surprise pick. You just see their reaction. You're like, just like the shock of it, like of actually taking it. And they're so tough. And I really like what they've done with them. Although I really like the Brawling Brutes better with Sheamus. I thought I really enjoyed that group. But yeah, I think that's who I'm going to pick as well. I think that group would be pretty awesome to see. What about you, Billy and Lawrence?
Tyler and Dunn, and then go with the Judgment Day as well. I do see them splitting up at some point. Obviously, I think Priest is headed for the single stuff, but yeah, definitely.
Good pick.
I would love to see Awesome Truth, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
That would be awesome too. How about you, Lawrence?
Yeah, I've got Judgment Day with one of the belts, and then I think that I'm going to be a little bit different here. I'm going to go with the dark horse just because they haven't done much, and I think that they want to put these guys and elevate them a little bit. I think it's Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. I think they'll somehow kind of weasel their way into grabbing a set of belts.
Well, that could be pretty interesting. I guess we'll find out this coming Saturday because, again, these are all night one. And that leads us to the night one main event. It's a big one, guys. It is The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Seth freaking Rollins and the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. What do you guys think about this one? Again, it's going to be a pretty epic main event. I think they'll give them some decent time on this one. There's obviously going to be probably interference and storyline, all of that kinds of stuff. But I feel like for me, it is bar none the Bloodlines taking it night one, because then there'll be Bloodline rules night two. Everybody's shaking their head. What do you guys
It,
think?
it's
Yes.
almost. I mean, that's almost a given. So at this point, we're just looking to be entertained with the match, which I'm sure we will be.
Right.
They're gonna have to give them a lot of time. It's probably gonna be about 45 minutes just for the entrances.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's just
then
Roman Reigns alone by the time he finally gets
just
to the
Roman Reigns
ring.
alone, yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, I definitely see. Like I texted you, and I think I might have private chatted you, and you know, I see Rock and Roman. They're gonna go over. Um, how they go over, don't know, but I think they win the match, and we go bloodline rules for night 2 because that's, you know, it's gonna add to the storytelling and it's gonna stack the deck on Cody even more. And you know, I think I put in what I thought was going to happen. You know, John Cena has said over and over again that he's free for this upcoming weekend, but there's been nothing for him. Same thing with Stone Cold Steve Austin. So could we see those two guys get involved in night 2 and somehow, you know, was it?
I think
Yeah.
100%.
I mean,
100% we're going to see those
Yeah.
guys.
Was that truck out there an Easter egg? I mean, I don't know.
There's no
was,
way in the
right?
world
Right.
that was not intentional.
There's no way that wasn't.
As soon as they walked outside and I saw that, I'm like, boom, that's brilliant.
Brilliant.
Placement back there. It was really great. But what about you guys? What do you guys, are we all in agreement? Pretty much bloodline?
Yeah, I think the bloodline wins this, and I think you know, last year, if you remember WrestleMania 39, you know, night 1 was really such a fun night, and you ended night 1 on just this high. I mean, Sammy and Kevin win the tag team titles, and you go into night 2, and night 2 just ends up being very deflating. I know that
Very, very
it
much.
it wasn't just Cody and Roman, but you came out of the backside of that. Like night 1 set you up and it put you up here, and then night 2 kind of came and kicked you right in the balls.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh man. And I think that, you know, this year they maybe have an opportunity to reverse some of that a little bit, where night 1 kind of like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Bloodlines won. What's that going to do to the main event? What are we going to get? What's going to happen? And then hopefully in night 2, as we talked about, you kind of get that opportunity to maybe end up off a high note.
How do you guys feel about that? Like with the 2 nights, you know, like you said, you know, you got to even it out a little bit, I guess, or, you know, as someone who grew up with WrestleMania just being on Sunday night and it was just one night, you know, it wasn't like come Monday when you were talking about it with your buddies, oh, I thought night 1 was better, you know, or night 2 was. To me, like if let's say you're a performer, you know, does that final match on Sunday night still mean more to you than the final match on Saturday night? Like which one would you say was like the real, you headlined, you main evented WrestleMania? You know, because CM Punk, I remember when he was in AEW, he had some things to say about, you know, well, you can go and main event, you know, you can do the main event on night 1 of a 2-night extravaganza or whatever. Meanwhile, you know, now that he's back, he was the one that was supposed to be main eventing night 1 with Seth. So, you know, I mean, to me, it's still Sunday night, which would be the last thing in the fans' brains. That's the main event.
That's the main event.
That's the main event. And that's what we all go home with, you know, until Raw the next day. But I definitely think that Sunday night come, you know, whatever 10:45 or whenever that main event kicks off, you know, we have to think that we're going to see something better than we saw on night 1. Like this is going to be bloodline rules, no holds barred is kind of what it is, right? And it's going to be off the chain. You know, I want to go into that match. I know I'm going to see Jay, you know, I'm going to see Solo, you know, I'm going to see Rock. You know, it's going to be crazy. Will we see Cena? Will we see Austin? You know, will Hogan come gimping down? Who knows, you know?
Right.
Everything should be on the table.
Yeah, I think absolutely. But I agree with, you know, your points about, I think we're all in agreement. Sunday night, main event, bottom line, that is the main event of Mania. Whether, you know, there's a great match the night before, that's great. But it's all just a way to give the athletes more spotlight over a longer period of time, and it gives them a good payday and all that good stuff. So, and it doubles the revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Smart.
Yep.
It's smart business. So whether we think one way or the other, they're making money, and that's all that's what they're there to do. And so it'll be interesting. But yeah, I agree. I think in terms of Saturday main events, this is a pretty big one.
Yes.
So anyway, but I think we're all in agreements that that's what's going to happen. And then that leads us to. I hear an echo now. All of a sudden, I don't know what that is. But anyway, sorry guys. The first match of night 2 is LA Knight versus AJ Styles. This is another match I feel like they just kind of threw together. What do you guys think?
I wouldn't say threw together. I would say they planted the storyline when LA Knight teamed with Cena after the Bloodline took out Styles, which made Styles bitter, and that's why he attacked LA Knight on his return to SmackDown. So I've seen, like, it's not been a major storyline. It's kind of been a side quest to me getting to WrestleMania, but my pick is AJ Styles. I think LA Knight will win, but I would love to see AJ Styles get the victory on this one.
How about you, Lauren?
I agree with JWR. I think this has been a pretty good, side quest storyline. I like the way he phrased that.
I do too.
I think that it's, like you said, it's not a main storyline, but it has been this nice side thing, and I think they've done a nice job with this story. I think that the elements are there for it to be a great match. Anytime AJ Styles gets in the ring, he's always going to put on a great match, I think, and I think LA Knight's right up there with him. So my gut tells me that LA Knight goes over here as well. I mean, AJ Styles is not a young man. Well, neither is LA Knight, but he's a lot younger than AJ Styles comparatively. So I think LA Knight goes over here.
Nice. How about you, Billy?
I was enjoying everything LA Knight was doing. It kind of seems like when CM Punk came back, something happened. I'm not saying it's directly because of Punk, but a lot of attention went there. It seems like his shine he got pushed back a little bit. He was kind of ascending. I see him going over because I think, like you said, he's not that much younger than AJ, but in terms of his wrestling career, he's a little bit more fresh. We've seen AJ for years, obviously TNA and everything else, but I think this would be a good rub for LA Knight, and I think he goes over.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I feel like I love AJ Styles, but I feel like, again, some of his shine has gone away, and which is unfortunate because he's still very over. But I feel like this is a downgrade for him, even though it is still AJ Styles and he's still great and he's looks better than he's ever looked. He's definitely worked out over his injury, but I do feel like he will go over AJ, and again, hopefully continue to get at least some push. Maybe he can go after an Intercontinental title or something.
That'd be great.
Yeah, just some singles title, but I think it'll be a decent match. I hope it's got some nice spots, and again, hopefully they give him a little bit of time. But again, probably another 15-minute match or so, probably. We'll move on to the women's championship. Bayley, who won the Royal Rumble, is taking on Io Sky. I don't feel like. What do you guys feel like Io Sky is a champion?
It's been lackluster, and I'm very disappointed by it because I mean, Io in NXT was just killing it when she was first down there, and then again she gets pulled up. She really wasn't doing anything. And then Damage Control came about, and then kind of she wasn't doing anything, and then she won. And I really feel like she picked up momentum when the Kabuki Warriors joined, and I want to see those three ladies with Dakota as the manager really start dominating. And I think I'm going for Io in this one. I think it's time for Io to get her big win at WrestleMania and then showcase what she can actually do in the ring.
Lawrence?
Yeah, my heart tells me I want Bayley to win, but I'm with him. I think Io retains here. And I think that, like he said, I think you start to see a more powerful faction with Damage Control led by Io. And so that's what I think on this one as well. But I agree. Right now it's been a lackluster sort of reign, and I think they've got an opportunity if she retains here to sort of course correct that.
All right.
Agree with both these guys. Yeah, I agree with both these guys. It's I think Io goes over. I like Bailey. She works as face and she works as a heel. She was really good in that role. Um, I still see bigger things for her. Like I don't know. I just don't see it happening at WrestleMania. So, and maybe this is the first match of a feud. Remember, WrestleMania is not the end; it's usually the beginning of stuff going forward. So maybe you're looking at a trilogy of matches that they might have over the title.
It could be. I do feel like it is. I think it's real possible that Bailey takes the title, just because I don't know if WWE's been really keen on Io Sky, because I just don't feel like they've really highlighted her at all. I mean, I just feel like she's always kind of in the shadows to everybody else, which is unfortunate because she's very talented. I mean, she's had a few high spots like Elimination Chamber last year where she flew off the cage. Like there's there's definitely been some moments for her, but ever since then, I just don't feel like there's really been anything of memorable note.
Right, but would
Um,
you guys agree that this is where the issue with having two championships of the same level, kind of like, Rhea Ripley has the other one. She's as over can be,
Hmm. Yep.
She's getting highlighted for giving stink faces at a house show. She broke the internet with that.
Hmm.
That's how over she is, and I mean she's getting all the good spots. She was just on that, her and Becky, their match was being promoted on that talk show, whatever. They had an angle there, they're just doing. I mean, when your other champion, who's supposed to be equal to this, is doing really big things, and their match is being spotlighted so much more. I mean, there's just no shine on this one.
Yeah, I agree, and that's why I think that Io retains, because I think Io needs the belt more than Bailey needs the belt.
Oh yeah.
So I think Bailey can exist in that arena without necessarily having the belt, and I think the belt lifts Io up versus Bailey lifting the belt up. So I think that's why I've got Io in this one.
okay. I guess we'll find out. And I made a major mistake here. I forgot to include a match for Saturday.
Oh,
I
this one.
think
man.
is that Saturday too? Okay.
I thought
Saturday.
that was Sunday, to tell you the
This
truth.
is Saturday.
All right.
Oh,
Oof.
I guess they'll go
it's-
on before the tag team.
Yeah, because they wouldn't have two women's championships, I don't think, the same night. But this is another reason why I think Bailey might become champion, is because in this matchup, Becky Lynch takes on Rhea Ripley, and my prediction is Rhea Ripley will retain. And so that's why I think Bailey might go over the next night. What do you guys think about this one? I think it's going to be a hell of a spotlight match.
Oh, it's going to be a phenomenal wrestling match. That is for sure. They're going to tear the house down, and just like Rhea and Charlotte did when they didn't get the main event, they went out there and tore the house down. And I could see these two doing the exact same thing. And I'm going to say it, Mommy's always on top. So
Yeah.
she's coming out with victory.
Yep, I agree. How about you guys?
Same.
Yep, same. I think
Yep.
her momentum is just off the charts right now. Obviously when they were in Australia, it was just crazy. But she's so over right now. And I don't know if Becky's contract issue would be something. I think she will resign, but I think with the book and maybe she was on she was on Young Rock. She's a good actress. Maybe she's looking to do some other things. They always are.
And she's a mom.
And she's a mom. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So but that's one that I'm looking forward to. But you see, there it is. Like you got this women's match I'm looking forward to, whereas the other ones I might go order some food. I don't know. Because it's. But I think Rhea goes over, and in a really really competitive good match.
Yeah. I think
Yeah, I
it'll be a
agree.
hell of a match.
I think this one will steal the show again, like Rhea and Charlotte did. Absolutely. I think it's going to steal the show. I think these women can put on a hell of a match.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. I definitely think it's going to be a highlight of this Mania for sure.
The
Yep.
build has been awesome. It's
Been great.
The build
Great
has been. I mean,
storyline.
great storyline. She mentioned her daughter the other day. I mean, that even had me go, ooh,
Yeah,
like,
they've made it personal, and you love it when stuff gets personal.
Yes,
I
that's
mean,
right.
I don't know if you guys saw when she was like, she was FaceTiming the guy. She was like, yeah, I'm outside. You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the area.
Yeah, on the radio
Yeah.
show. Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah.
Nice show.
I mean, the angles that these two girls are being given to promote their match, it's night and day to what they're, what they're doing for the other title. But that's, the way that Becky's a star, Rhea's over like nobody. She's over than more of the guys. So,
Yep.
I am surprised
Yeah.
they haven't done more with Bailey. I mean, they've done some, but I just like she's a Royal Rumble winner. Like it's like you would think that it'd be this giant storyline, but like you said, there's just not as exciting. And while you're ordering food during that match, I'm going to probably order food during this one. I think it has potential to be really good, but it's like I just feel like this is kind of a throwaway match. I think it'll be good, but I don't know. What do you guys think about this one?
Yeah. I mean, neither one of these factions are working for me.
great.
They both feel like, I don't know, like replays of other things that have happened in the past. None of them. It's not even a good story. It's just filler. I think they need to split all these guys up. I think the Street Profits need to be a strong tag team in the division as well as the Authors of Pain, and let Bobby and I can't remember his name.
Karrion Kross.
Karrion Kross, thank you.
Kross.
Go on their own, because this is just not working. It has zero interest level.
Yep, totally agree. I don't know what happened to Bobby Lashley, but to me, I mean, the second go around when he came back, I loved him in, what was it, back in 05, 06, he was, I mean, the guy looks like a star. It's like $1 million, like they should have gave us that Bobby Lashley Brock match years ago rather than when we got it. To see him in this throwaway match, it's kind of sad.
I agree. Anybody else want to comment on this one?
I'm rooting for Karrion Kross and Authors of Pain. I need this feud to end, and I need to end in a statement because it feels like this has been like the one repeat after repeat after repeat every SmackDown. And so when they announced this match for Mania, I was like, what is this? Like, why? So I want Karrion Kross and the Authors of Pain to dominate them and win indecisively and just go on and really Authors of Pain get the tag team titles, Karrion Kross get the U.S. title, and let's see some big guys actually just dominate for a while.
It'd be nice to see. I had forgotten about the Rhea match. I don't know how I didn't get that photo uploaded. And there's another one I didn't get uploaded. I don't remember what night it is. So I do apologize again, guys. But this is another one that we haven't talked about. This is Logan Paul versus
That's
Kevin
night
Owens.
two.
This is night two.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I had it on the right night at least. Kevin Owens, Logan Paul, Randy Orton. I am really impressed with Logan Paul and his abilities. I think he's done just a phenomenal job. I really enjoy watching him. What do you guys think about this one?
Yeah, I think Logan retains here, because I think Orton and KO are going to end up beating the hell out of each other at some point, get angry with each other, and the match is going to end up being them, and Logan's going to escape with the title.
Nice. What do you think, JWR?
I want Logan to win. I would love to see Kevin Owens win. He's overdue for a title run, but Logan's just killing it. I mean, and how awesome would it be since his prime bottle is now the center ring display for Mania, for him to like pin Randy Orton in the center over the prime bottle in the ring. That would be a really cool moment for him.
Arthur Alvarez here says Logan is where the money's at. And I agree 100%. I'm with these guys. I would like to see Logan retain. I think he's phenomenal to watch. What a talent. I mean, just for him being new still. I mean, I guess I don't know if we can call him new still, but still pretty new. I mean, he hasn't had less than 10 matches.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if it's that much. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe less than 5. I don't know, but it's been pretty crazy.
He's a phenomenal athlete. I mean, people, in the WWE are watching him. Even if you watch his YouTube stuff, he's jumping over cars and all this other kind of stuff. He boxed Floyd Mayweather. I think that went to a decision. I mean, yeah, it's an exhibition, and Floyd was older, but he's got a lot of skill. Like, he's a phenomenal athlete. And he's picked up on professional wrestling almost as fast as Kurt Angle did
Yeah.
for somebody who hadn't been doing it that long, you know? So, yeah, I think he retains. But I kind of like that, pins him on the bottle of Prime thing. So
Mhm.
I think that'll be super cool because
It'll be neat.
my sons will definitely be going for Logan Paul as they constantly are drinking Prime all day
Yep.
long. So,
So my kids too.
oh my God.
All right, guys, that brings us down to our final two matches. Let's talk about the World Championship between Seth freaking Rollins and Drew McIntyre. This will be on night 2. And my prediction on this one is, Seth Rollins is really banged up. I think that Drew McIntyre was absolutely screwed during COVID mania, not getting that live reaction. So I think that, again, this is just my prediction, but I think that he takes the title. And after he takes the title, Priest comes in and cashes in on him.
I 100% agree.
And then that sets up
100%
Priest and
Yep.
Drew McIntyre feud for the summer.
Yep, I think I agree. I think Drew wins. What they're gonna do with the briefcase, I don't know. The only other thought that I have is somehow, Drew loses Seth, and then he just goes nuts because he doesn't get that moment, and then beats the snot out of Seth and through the table and beats him with chairs, and then Priest cashes in.
That could
And
happen.
that's a way to get the belt off of Seth if he is banged up. I could see it going that way, and I could see Drew, kind of losing his damn mind because he doesn't get his moment.
That could be.
So that's kind of my thought on that. I would love. My heart tells me I want Drew to win, but I really could see that being the outcome with Seth winning, Drew then beating the hell out of him, and then Damian cashing in.
Could go
And
either
then
way,
that sets up Drew and Damian.
Sure. Either way. Yeah, either way.
Right.
It sets it up for some really great feuds over the summer. Billy, do you agree with all that?
I absolutely agree with all that. I think, Drew did get screwed in the COVID WrestleMania. Now, when you say Seth is banged up, I mean, because he is wrestling on Saturday night. Could he get banged up in that match and then come into night 2 compromise as a work?
It's possible. I just feel like with him, I feel like he is putting off surgery. I think it's one of those things where he just really needs to do that.
He looked good Monday night. He was moving around a little bit, but like I said, I think it's everything they have given to Drew McIntyre. You talk about a guy who's worked hard, and everything they've given him, even as a heel, it's got humor in it. The whole T-shirt with CM Punk in the grave and all that stuff. I mean, it's he's in the gym doing stuff.
It's the best work he's done, I think. Period.
It's the best work he's done. He has gotten himself over, and because they've since the first run, the prophecy and all of that, they gave him some bad stuff.
Stuff.
And he's taken the chicken ish and made chicken salad.
Yeah.
He does well. And do I want to see Priest come in and kind of steal that moment again? For the sake of the show, maybe, yeah, because like you said, it could build to SummerSlam.
What makes him so mad? Like I finally got my moment, and then you took it away. It's like it's gonna be so great, right?
So if that happens, though, all right, let's say that goes down. Come Monday, do you think he gets pushed more in the face direction because like we're all gonna have this sympathy for him, or how does that work?
I don't know. It might. Maybe they'll blur the lines. I mean, they've done that before, where it's like you're kind of good, you're kind of bad. Like where are you at? And that's what they did with Drew. I mean, Drew was a good guy coming into this.
Yeah.
But you made me mad. You made me turn bad. It's been really good stuff.
And he's continued to sell a perception of his truth, right?
His
so
truth,
right. So he, he hasn't
bad
really.
Guy. No bad guy ever sees themselves as a bad guy.
No,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And so, but I really think that this is his best work, and he's just such a smart aleck doing it. And I really think that they would be silly to kind of flip that now.
Yeah.
And don't forget that somebody's going to be on commentary.
Oh, that's right.
For this match. So there's a little wild card factor just sitting right outside that might get involved, might not.
Well,
and that could be what cost Drew.
Correct. I was going to say if that's what cost Drew, and then Priest catches in. Well, then Priest might feud with him or somebody else, and then Punk will go on to a program with Drew McIntyre because but that would make, to me, that makes more sense because they've already set that up. Although if he stays champion, I guess CM Punk has something to chase after. I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Drew needs to win because he's lost like what is it 2 or 3 times to Rollins for the World Heavyweight title.
I think so.
If he loses at Mania, he's out of the world title picture for a while. Like there's just no foundation for him to stand on saying that he has the right to challenge for the world title.
Yeah. Well, he lost to Roman too.
Yep.
At Clash at the Castle. So, his last 3 world title attempts, he's lost them.
Yep. It's crazy. Well, that then goes, gentlemen, to our main event. We have the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, getting closer to beat Hulk Hogan's 4-year run. I think he's at 3.5 years right now. Oh, he will be Saturday. That's crazy. Versus Cody Rhodes. Of course, this was the main event last year. I really think it was originally supposed to be Roman Reigns versus Rock, but then CM Punk got hurt, and so they pivoted. But is there a chance Cody doesn't win the title?
No.
Oh, I think there's always a chance that he doesn't. I think it would be the wrong call to do that 2 years in a row. I think that's that's a hard sell. That is a hard sell to keep fans invested, because if he doesn't, how do you keep fans invested in that at that point?
But here's the thing: Cody doesn't need the title. Cody is so over. You put a title on somebody to push him. It's like
right.
Or to try to push somebody else. Cody doesn't need the belt.
Mm-hmm.
Same reason they never gave it to Andre. Like Andre doesn't need the belt. You don't need to give that guy the belt. You don't need to give Strowman the belt. That's the same thing, the same mentality. Will they give it to him? Yes, but they don't need to give it to him. And if they kept the belt on Roman, it keeps the crazy storyline going for another year or whatever. And you have to admit, it's been one of the best stories WWE's ever done.
Yeah, because I don't think he actually beats Hogan's record until August or September.
No, Michael Cole said on Monday Night Raw.
So he actually is going to headline more WrestleManias.
That's right. That's what it was. Okay. That's right. Yeah. Because they say Hogan had it for 4 years, and they said that Reigns, this will be 3.5.
Yeah.
But I think that they do want Reigns to take over Hogan's title.
And that's the only reason that Cody doesn't get it. I mean, if that's what they're really going for, I mean, that's that slim chance that Cody doesn't get it. And I understand, but not all title reigns are built the same. I mean, I recognize as a modern era, it's different, but I don't count that as in the same vein, because he's at 50 title matches or whatever, 60 title matches in that 3.5 years, and Hogan had 434 or whatever during that reign. So to me, it's apples and oranges, and I don't think he needs to do it. I don't see a reason for it, but could happen.
My original thought was that I thought there was a really good chance that Rock will turn on Roman Reigns.
Oh, that is my prediction.
I think that absolutely could happen. That then sets up what was supposed to be the main event this year, long-term storytelling, which The Rock said he's all about. And that sets up then a whole year program, whether The Rock's full-time or not. I think they'll set it up Roman Reigns versus Rock next Mania. Not for a title, probably just for family pride or whatever they want to go with, head of the table or whatever. You guys feel like it's going to happen? Yeah. Do you think Rock's going to turn here?
Yep.
What do you think, Lawrence or Billy?
Billy.
I did. I thought he would. It's I don't know. There's no doubt this was a hard pivot. I still feel the bigger, better match was Rock and Roman. But how do you get to that match, right? Where it makes sense and it wasn't going to make everyone upset. I don't know if you guys listened to Busted Open Radio with and Bully Ray had this idea where the story needs to be finished, but who says it needs to be finished at WrestleMania? You know, if it needs to be, if the story really needs to be finished, his idea, if you really want to have like grown men crying, it would be to finish it in Madison Square Garden where it started, where that title was taken from his pops, when he fought superstar Billy Graham and thought he won it. Like, why not? I mean, but then are they slated to go back to the Garden anytime soon for a PLE? I don't know, because you wouldn't just do it on a Raw. I get why they're doing it at WrestleMania. You want to get a number out of it, but the story needs to finish. But does it need to finish at WrestleMania? I don't think it does. Um, eh, so I still think it will. I still think he goes over and they throw the kitchen sink at us. I
Mhm.
think you get Cena, you get Austin, you get.
It'd be
It's supposed to,
crazy.
it's supposed to be the biggest WrestleMania ever, right?
Yep.
Right.
So I think, like I said, to know those guys have openly said, we're not doing anything, we're free. The whole angle in Chicago when they were outside with, I think they're going to be involved some way. So if they're going to be involved some way, where else are they going to be involved?
Yeah.
Other than
Right.
this match,
That's
where
it.
obviously, Roman's got his whole family there. You know what I'm saying? So I think, but Bully even said, if you could somehow, ever, if there was ever a time for WWE under Triple H to work with AEW, would have been to somehow get Dustin here for
Yep.
this match. And I mean, you
Yep.
talk about that would have been. I mean, first of all, Goldust is a WWE legend. Should be in the Hall of Fame one day.
Yep.
But to be able to have him come back for one night, help his little brother out,
Who's
especially
to
when
say it won't happen?
who's to say it won't happen? I
And
mean, there was
speaking
some
of age,
TNA girls. There was some TNA girl that was in the
right?
Royal Rumble, right?
This is
Mhm.
Triple H.
Jordan
This
Grace.
isn't
Yeah,
Vince.
Jordan
This is
Grace.
Triple
Yeah.
H. Yeah, Jordan, and she had a great showing. It wasn't like she came in and just got tossed out. She was in there for a while.
What about this one right here?
Oh,
Now,
Oh.
he's better
I-
than you, and you know it. And
and
that's
you know it.
that's my guy right
Yeah,
there.
because I mean,
He's
we don't know anything. I mean,
We don't know
all of it's
anything.
dirt sheet stuff, right? When we know
Well,
his original contract ended, and everybody's like, "Well, he signed a new one." And he's like, "No, I haven't." And so we don't know. No one knows, right?
No one knows.
No one
now I'll
knows.
tell you, if that dun-na-na, like that first couple of
Yeah.
beats of his theme come on, I'll lose it. I will absolutely lose it because I know what he will do. He will betray Cody Rhodes just like he did in AEW versus Chris Jericho, and I will lose my proverbial shit because I need Cody to finish the story, get the title, reset the landscape, and like usher in the new era of WWE.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know that I have. I mean, my heart tells me I want Cody to win, and if he doesn't, it's going to be really hard for me to continue to be emotionally invested in
Yep.
that and continue to put the energy into that. I agree with you. He doesn't necessarily need that belt, but that would be like saying that Austin didn't need that belt. These guys are in this to get that belt,
Right.
and you know, um,
Well,
so
I think having Cody, obviously his backup is going to be Cena and Austin. That's gonna
right.
be his backup because it's going to be unfair. If anything goes for one team or one side, anything goes for the other side too, right?
Yep.
And so I think that's just them. If they are there, that's going to make him win. That's going to cause him where the interference is out of the picture. He gets the clean win.
Because
So
I
we'll
can see
see.
Austin and Cena coming in, clearing out Jimmy,
Yeah.
Solo, and then the Rock slides in and Reigns like they do the clap that they've been doing. They've been doing that too many times, and I can literally see them clap and Rock just pull him in, hit that rock bottom, say it, yep, because he
Mhm.
keeps doing the L,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
Well,
he's a
except
storyteller.
Except I don't know if you watched. There was a wide shot last night.
Yep.
Rock's in the corner, and I was watching his hand. He puts up the one. But then the entire time, the rest of the guys were doing this. He didn't do it once in the ring, except for that one time for that wide shot. So I kept thinking,
Yeah.
why is he not acknowledging right now?
Hmm.
So I
can see
think
Rock.
I can absolutely see a rock bottom. Boom, one. Slow count. 1, 2. Referee's probably knocked out. 1, 2, 3. Boom. That's it.
I mean, I kind
Giant
of
pop.
saw giant pop.
Yes.
The pop will be insane. I would definitely mark out on that one. But you know, when he acknowledged him, you know, that's not The Rock. You know what I'm saying? Like we
Right.
know he's. If you've been watching The Rock since he turned on Farouk,
Yeah.
okay, like
Mhm.
Yeah.
that is
Yep.
not him. Okay,
Nope.
so anybody who doesn't think a turn by The Rock on Roman is coming, maybe it's not at WrestleMania. I don't know. I think it will be. I totally agree with you guys, but Rock, it didn't even come out of his mouth the right way. It sounded awkward.
It
I
did.
Right.
acknowledge,
It did. Yeah.
that's not him. So anyone who's not expecting that, you just aren't paying attention.
Well, and I think you're right, Billy. I think you got to get that match too, right? There's got to be Rock
Oh
Roman
yeah.
head of the table, whether that's to pass the torch for head of the table and who the tribal chief is, or whatever that needs to look like. You got to get that match. Now, does that need to happen at a WrestleMania? I don't necessarily think so. I think that could be a
No.
SummerSlam.
Mhm.
I think that could be
Yeah.
a whatever
Saudi.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, it could be really, any other large PLE, one of the premium PLEs, if you will.
Yeah.
And so, and it's like, I heard another wrestling personality explain this, and they explained it really well. And I think I'll probably butcher his name, but he's got a channel, Mr. Sandy's app, I think is his name, Mr. Sandy, something like that. And he said, the Rock Roman match, and when it was first initially going to be at WrestleMania, it's like that's your steak, right? And you've been wanting this steak, and you've been wanting this New York strip, and or this Wagyu steak that you're getting. That's just the best steak you're ever going to have in your life. But before you can have that steak, you just ran a marathon. And right now, all you want after running that marathon is you want a big thing of water. But the only thing they're going to give you is that steak. And you don't want that steak right now after you just ran a marathon.
Mhm.
Let's wait to get that steak when it's a better moment, because give me the water right now.
Yeah.
That's what I need right now, and that's Cody Roman. So I thought that was an interesting way to
Yeah.
kind of describe the analogy for it. But yeah, let's.
Yeah, cause like that was actually perfect because you want both. I'm not saying that we don't want Cody Roman, but we want it now. And I'm not saying we don't want Roman and Rock, just not right now. Like I think, at first when this whole thing popped off, I thought maybe at somehow Rock will double agent Chris. We talked about it.
Yep.
He would help Cody, and that would piss off Roman. And Rock goes and does however many movies, and it may go back and forth through social media, vignettes or whatever, an appearance here or there, because neither one of them are going to be around full time anyway.
Yep.
And eventually, you get to a Rock Roman at SummerSlam at Saudi down the road. Because that match is going to be awesome. And listen, Rock is in his 50s. Who knows how long he looks great physically, yeah, but you know, things still break easily when you get to your 50s, I think. So
Mhm.
What do you think about the possibility of Chuck said, what if Roman goes babyface?
and Rock takes over.
Rock stays heel.
Doc takes,
Rock stays
yeah,
heel, takes over the bloodline.
I mean,
yeah.
heel Rock is the best Rock we can get. I mean, I love heel Rock.
His new entrance
Love Phil Rock.
music, the final boss when the lightning hits with that
Love it.
dawn, and it's like, oh, I mean that song. I'm like, I could listen to this every Monday night, every Friday night.
I put it here on the channel.
Yeah.
As our first video, I was like, I just want it on the channel. Like it's copyrighted. It's like WWE owns it, but I'm like, I just want to listen to that over and over again because I love it. I love that sound.
I think he only used that at 19, right?
It was very limited.
When he
for
fought
sure.
in the third match against Stone Cold. I think that was at 19 in Seattle.
Isn't that the old one that The Rock says? The Rock says, yeah.
Yeah.
That was
They slowed it down a little bit more and had a little bit more bass, especially when that he's saying final boss on the Titan. And I was like,
so
okay,
good.
It's an awesome instance, yeah.
It's awesome. Let's see.
Yeah, I think he could, like, if Roman ends up losing, I think he could like blame Roman for, you lost this for the bloodline, whatever, and kind of take over the bloodline. I'm the tribal chief now, and then that's how you get those two. going against each other. Yeah,
absolutely.
So,
Well, we've been
certainly
talking wrestling all night, but we are still 4 statue collectors without a shadow of a doubt. And so I got to give a shout out to Theodore. We're crossing the streams tonight. That's what we're going to do. But anyway, Chris, I know this isn't statue talk, but thanks to you and Billy and Dan, I've gone and bought Joker Say Cheese. Damn enablers. Billy, what do you think about that statue, man? I love it.
All right, so it's been here since me and Eric unboxed it, and you know, I am not one to keep extra portraits around. I have both of them on display. I have all three. Well, the 2 on the bust, and then the 1 on the statue. And I might have flipped this thing. I mean, I don't know. I'm just constantly playing with it, and I don't do that. I'm not one to use switch outs.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have a lot of them out. I have a closet with shelves with arms and heads, and it's like a murder scene in there. You know.
Yeah.
I never use them. and I don't put them out. And if you guys are subscribed to Eric B's channel, All Things Art, I just did. Finally, he's got me to do the room tour.
Yep,
So
it's a great room tour, by the way. Yeah, great.
Thank you guys. And you know, they're the only 2 little busts for a statue that I have out. Really, maybe the Fabok one, because that was like a bigger piece for the Tech 1000, right? But I never switched that one out. Always the head looking down, right? That thing, Theodore, congratulations, my man. Sorry we enabled you. So, as Chris would say, sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, sorry, not sorry. Absolutely. It's just so good. And man, congratulations. I'm really glad. I mean, I feel like that's a piece that so many people did sleep on. And then once they kind of started seeing reviews and stuff. Yeah, still available. But I just can't imagine it being available too long.
Don't tell me that. It's not available right now. It's sold out. Sold out.
No,
it's seriously one of my favorite statues of all.
Big Bad
Actually,
Toys has
before the
it.
live stream, Theodore and I were talking on Facebook, and he was like, I got to say cheese coming, and I was like, man, I am 2 away from the sideshow rogues being finished, and then the only thing left for me to start collecting is the 1/3, and I was like, Batman Hush and Joker Say Cheese are the first 2 I have to buy.
Batman.
Once you go 1/3, my friend, there is no going back.
Well, once I got the sideshow, I'm looking at Mr. Freeze right here. When Mr. Freeze came in, I was like, okay. I was like, I get it now. I understand. I was like, I'm screwed. And I went and just bought so many back to forth. I mean, Bane's arriving tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Congrats.
Nice.
Scarecrow will be in about a week, the shipping says. And then I just need Two-Face.
Yep. That's awesome. Well, it's going to be awesome. You're going to have the rogues fully represented.
Yep.
Be awesome.
Because of you.
That's right. I know. Yeah. Sorry, not sorry. I'm going to say it again.
I heard somebody put a Riddler premium format on April Fool's Day out there.
Yeah, Eric.
Yeah.
He did it last year. And then somebody put like a fake one there too. There was like a fake custom or something. But I predict we are going to see Riddler in 2024.
In 1/3?
I feel like you know something.
In 1/3?
I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. Lips are sealed.
I'm just
making a prediction. I think we'll see I think we'll see a Riddler from someone in 2024. Maybe multiple people. We'll see.
It's about time.
I'm just over here collecting Masters of the Universe.
That's right. Keep on that Tweeterhead train, my friend.
Yeah.
Lawrence, did you see that Amazon Prime has their own version of He-Man Masters of the Universe animated series on there on Prime right now?
Yes.
It's 2 seasons. I clicked it and I thought about you when I added it to my watch list.
Yep. I think that's the 2000. I think it's the 2000 version that they've got on there right now. Is what that is. So, but yeah, I'm really excited. I think that people slept on this, and maybe it's just not their He-Man or whatever, but that life-size bust of He-Man that they're doing.
Tweeterhead?
So yeah, Tweeterhead. So they've scaled that down to, talking to them, and I think maybe it's going to be somewhere between 100 and 150 pieces now.
Oh wow.
That's it. Initially, it was going to be much more than that, and I think they've scaled it way down to between 100 and 150 pieces that are going to get produced.
Lawrence, you would be the guy to ask on this. Why do you think Prince Adam doesn't get a lot of love?
You know what? That's a great question. I think it's changed over the years because what I will say is, Iron Studios did a 110 statue of him, which is really good. Mondo did a 1/6 of him, which is fantastic. Um, I think it's just because he's not He-Man. I think it's that's it. I mean, I think Prince Adam's a 16-year-old boy, supposedly.
Jacked
You
up
know,
16-year-old boy.
He is, especially in the '80s cartoon. But when they did go with
Yeah.
the newer iterations in the 2000s, and even the new ones on um, Netflix and some of the CGI ones, he is definitely the 16-year-old younger kid. And
Okay.
I think it's just not He-Man. He
Yeah.
he is and he isn't, and I think that's why. But there have been a couple good comic runs of like Prince Adam stories where, back in 2012 they did one where Skeletor has kind of erased his memory, and he has no idea that he is He-Man, and you
Wow.
find him, you start the story in like this, he's just lost in a forest, and he just lives in the forest with his parents, and if I ends up finding his way back to becoming He-Man, and all that kind of stuff. So over the last several years, I think they've given a little bit more love, but I think that's probably why.
It's cool. Well, we've gone completely off the rails here,
We have.
from our WrestleMania predictions, but it's always
Team
nice to talk
Theodore.
statues too. Yeah, it's always nice to talk statues and art with you guys. We've gone about an hour and a half. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Thanks for being on the panel, guys. Billy, thanks for just randomly logging on. I appreciate that. Saw you in the chat. I thought, well, hell, you love wrestling too, so let's talk about it. So hopefully we'll get a chance to do this again here on the channel. And so again, thank you guys very much for joining me tonight.
It
Thanks
was,
for
it was
having
a
me.
blast. I
Appreciate
love
it.
this.
Nice to meet you guys finally. Well, not you, Chris, but yeah.
That's right. That's right.
It's
Well,
very
hey,
nice to meet you, man.
hopefully we'll see this guy in Texas maybe.
Oh,
I'm
are you coming
hoping.
to Dallas Expo?
Yeah, it's 50-50 right now. But like Chris says, with the statues, not everybody gets this hobby, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like cool to have this community, even if, I don't get to pop into the chat all the time, but that get this painted rock thing, right? It's even more so that you can find people who love professional wrestling and not just like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, I know who The Rock and John Cena are because they're actors. No, I'm talking about, did you watch Superstars of Wrestling as a 6-year-old
Yep.
in your underwear while you were eating,
Yep.
Mr. T cereal on Saturday morning?
Yep.
I would, it was Superstars of Wrestling. Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling came afterwards.
Yep.
Yep.
Did you have a Hogan lunchbox?
Yep.
That was me.
Primetime wrestling, baby. Gorilla Monsoon,
Primetime
Bobby
wrestling.
Heenan.
Yep.
So to
With your
to
wrestling buddy, your
Oh
your
yeah. Yep.
your
wrestling
wrestling
buddies
buddies.
Yep.
Yep.
who it would eventually be a flat pillow.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Because you're doing elbows off the couch
That's
onto
right.
that.
And
Yeah.
then
That's right.
eventually he'd just be behind you while you were watching TV.
Yep.
Yep.
But yeah, man, it's to find a couple of guys, who enjoy this, and WrestleMania is our Super Bowl. People don't really get that. Guys who have
Yep.
been to countless shows and stuff. Chris, we were, I felt bad. We were in Disney, and our families were slaving away in the heat, and we're sitting there in front of the Carousel of Progress talking wrestling.
Yes, we
So-
are. That's all right. That's
Well,
all right.
I gotta say though, guys. I mean, what's really exciting is like WWE is just so hot right now, and one of the things I think we're also excited about is we don't know. It's not very predictable. There are, 8 different ways they can take a lot of these storylines with these matches at WrestleMania, and it just makes for such a compelling product. And right now we're in a hot streak of it being really entertaining and really fun, and I hope that continues.
Yeah.
I feel like we're
totally agree.
overdue for like
Yeah.
wrestling to be cool again, because we went through like 5 or 6 years of just like it was rematch after rematch after rematch. Titles didn't really mean anything.
Yep.
The women weren't really, they were divas back then. They
Right.
weren't getting like to showcase, and now everybody's like, oh yeah, being a wrestling fan is cool. I'm like, you don't get this. Like this is mine. This is
Yeah.
y'all's. Like this is our golden age where we get to enjoy wrestling again because it's
That's
good.
right.
Yeah,
100%.
as I mean, just horrible as all the allegations are with Vince. He built it to what it is. We all, as wrestling fans, owe him a lot. Do I think he was a little bit out of touch? I do. And to what Lawrence said, as far as like the product being so awesome right now, you got two things going for you. You got The Rock, who is, this mega star who's now returned. Anybody who loves his movies, he was ours first. Okay.
Yep.
Like, and then you have Triple H, who is got this open mind. And then you have Sean, who's down at NXT, who is the worker of all workers,
Hmm.
and he's, by the time they get to the main roster, Braun Breaker, you know, dude, I'm
Yeah,
looking
how
for
he doesn't have a match at Mania.
how he does
That
not
one.
have a match at WrestleMania. That is, for him to just step into the Rumble as a last minute replacement for Brock, take his
Yep.
spot, do everything that Brock was supposed to do. To me, he looked like Brock did when he was first doing the run-ins.
Yeah.
Just annihilated everybody. That kid's got big things coming.
Yep.
These guys, Triple H, open mind, willing to do business with other people, and this is just, I'm glad it's finally come around again. Like you guys said, it's cool again, it's fun again, and anybody who wants to jump on the bandwagon now, come on.
Absolutely.
The more the merrier.
Couldn't
Let's
have said
have
it better
fun.
myself. Well, again, thanks guys so very much for watching tonight. I really appreciate you guys, and hopefully we'll be back with another pay-per-view or whatever we're going to do on the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you guys next time. I guess in the back cave. Bye.
Good
Bye,
night, guys.
guys. Bye, everybody.
All right.
See ya.